Hello and welcome. This is Azam Boy Driver with Dark Souls. I'm a huge fan of this game. I'm doing this a little bit as a caps lock, like a new player, intro to new players, because I have not played this in a really long time actually. I'm going to take the advice of I would consider him an expert and a pro, known as EpicNameBro. I'll try to remember to put a link to his profile on somewhere. Yeah, people know me might be interested in my name choice. Real quick, the sex of your character matters very little. If I remember, there's a slight difference in your starting stats. Or maybe that was Demon Souls. Your starting class, the only thing it affects is your beginning gear and your beginning stats. So basically, the things you see on the left and right, the numbers and what he's wearing are the only differences in the starting classes. By about a couple hours into the game, your starting class will probably not make a difference. Yeah, but his suggestion was to go Cleric with the Master Key. The gifts you choose are the only ones that I think are worth it. Are the Master Key if you're not a thief, and the black fire bombs if you want to do a trick with the first tutorial boss guy. I'll talk about it, and I may show an earlier run where I actually did that. But I'm going to shut up and let you watch the opening cutscene.
In the age of ancients, the world was unformed, shrouded by fog. A land of grey crags, arched trees, and everlasting dragons. But then there was fire, and with fire came disparity. Heat and cold, life and death, and of course, light and dark. Then from the dark they came and found the souls of lords within the flame. Nito, the first of the dead. The Witch of Izalith and her daughters of Chaos. Gwyn, the Lord of Sunlight, and his faithful knights. And the furtive pygmy, so easily forgotten. With the strength of lords, they challenged the dragons. Gwyn's mighty bullets peeled apart their stone skills. The witches weaved great firestorms. Nito unleashed a miasma of death and disease. And Seath, the Scaleless, betrayed his own, and the dragons were no more. But soon the flames will fade, and only dark will remain. Even now, there are only embers, and man sees not light, but only endless nights. And amongst the living are seen carriers of the accursed dark side.
Alright, I decided not to talk at all during that opening for
Yes, indeed.
a couple reasons.
The dark
First is
side
that I think it's cool.
blinds the undead.
The other is that, well, I've been able to turn down the in-game volume. I've never actually been able to turn
And in
down
this land,
that cutscene's volume, so it tends to drown me out whether or not
The
I
undead are
I try.
corralled and led
So
to the north.
I just let it play. Yeah, I'm gonna let this kind of be a,
where they are locked away.
you know, to be a little helpful for someone who's new to the game. I am by no means an expert. It's actually, for a game that I like a lot, I'm not particularly good at it. I would say in terms of,
is your fate.
yeah, we're having happy days right now, locked in a cell with creepy dead rats and dead bodies. But yeah, for the amount that I like this game, I am not nearly as skilled at it as I should be. Yeah, we're also quite undead-ish. That's why I don't spend too much time working on making my face look proper. Because other than I really suck with the slider system and making faces that don't look like mutants, you spend a good chunk of the game, you know, kind of undead. So yeah. I am playing on the PC version, and I'm playing with a PlayStation 3 controller. So my buttons are not what appear on screen. So these things are not particularly helpful for me. Well, that one is, but that is not. But yeah, basically, you use the shoulder buttons or triggers to attack, and the two on the right side are for your right hand, whether you're doing a quick attack or strong attack, and then for the left side is your left hand. For the most part, your left hand is going to be a shield, or I guess if you're using a bow or something. But yeah, yeah. The Master Key gift does not open all doors everywhere, despite what it might say. It does open a lot of doors and opens up some nice shortcuts and such, but it's certainly not open everything option. Oop, didn't mean to do that. Yeah, the Cleric. One of the nice things right off the bat about the Cleric is they have the heal spell. They interestingly don't have a way to cast it right off the bat, but so like right now, if I was not a Cleric, I would have no way to heal myself. Granted, I wasn't going to take damage there, but yeah. The black fire bombs I mentioned are very useful here because you get ambushed by this guy, and if you don't have the black fire bombs, all you're going to have is this broken freaking weapon, which you can use to kill him. It is entirely possible. It just takes a really long time. If you don't have the black fire bombs, you're not going to kill him. You need to run in here, and it locks you out of him. But if you use the black fire bombs to kill him there, he is guaranteed to drop his weapon. I can't remember if it's the Demon Great Hammer or some giant freaking hammer thing that you really can't use early on, but at least yeah, you get something for it. Okay, so now we have a shield. Aha! Interestingly, the thing you have to get used to is that the game does not pause when you go to your equipment screen. So make sure you're in a safe place before you do that. Yeah, like he's still running away from me. And he got pretty far. But, okay, now we have actual weapons. You can do actual damage. Yeah. Yeah, my main classes that I started are either as a knight or soldier with the master key, or as a thief with the thief gets the master key by default. So I picked thief and black fire bombs just to make this everything go faster. Yeah, that jerk's gonna drop a boulder on you from up there because he's a jerk. So make him regret doing that. That door up there is locked, so you can come down here and open this up to the bottom where you started. Make a nice loop. But in this area revealed by the box is a little guy who's not little at all, but he's not doing so well.
No, thank goodness.
Well,
I'm done for.
one thing I should mention is that you can attack NPCs, and they don't appreciate it. Most of them. So even in cutscenes, like if I wanted to swing, oh yeah,
Regrettably,
like I can still swing my weapon, I can still attack him, and I can kill him now.
perhaps you can keep the torch lit. There's an old
And
saying in my family.
so if you really want to attack him, you can attack him. If you don't want to attack him, be careful with your button presses, because
Maketh pilgrimage to the land of ancient lords.
you know there aren't really cutscenes for NPCs where they're you can just fall asleep.
And I can die with hope in my heart. Oh, one more thing. Here, take this. An Estus flask. An undead favorite.
Okay, so this is how normally you would heal yourself. And it gives me the key to the door is locked.
Farewell. I would hate to harm you after death. So go now. And thank you.
Interesting that they give us the heal miracle, which would allow us to heal, but they don't give us a way to cast it until after we have the Estus. So, but yeah, so basically now we can heal 10 times in a row. I assume that there's going to be a talisman up there. Yeah. Alright, this is what we use to cast miracles. You need to equip it, and you use it like you would a weapon. I like keeping it in my offhand. But that's just me. Not really don't use maces that often. Wow. I am really bad at fighting these early dreglings because they take so long between the time they start winding up and the time they attack. I think to block or parry, and then I decide I have time to attack, and then by the time I make that decision, I'm in trouble. That is a parry and riposte. They are a little tricky to pull off, but they are devastating when you do it right. Yeah. And now that we are actually equipped, I'm even going to heal because I can. It wasn't really necessary, but yeah. Traverse the fog, and we will find this guy. This guy's just waiting for us to fall on his face and land on his head. That's a plunge attack. They are very useful. Oh god. Yeah, if you can quick roll, like right now I'm able to quick roll, and it's very helpful. I like quick rolling. He had 1 health left. You can't always quick roll depending on your equipment. Anything else for me? No? Okay then. Oh, Natty. Big Pilgrim's Key. Dun 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 dun. But yeah, that guy's really, he's not that hard to fight once you have your equipment for any class. So it's not like you have to pick the back fire bombs, but they do make really short work of them. Down here, if I could walk, there's a soul lost undead, which is not vital that you get it. Just as for the sake of pointing it out, over here is a nest.
You
Or the
Give me
cold
warm.
bird.
Give me soft.
So, the bird wants warm and fuzzy, don't we all? Anyway, so that's basically the tutorial-ish area.
Only in the ancient legends
I am not used
it
to the
is
cleric.
stated
Look at the cleric. But like I said, it
that one
really
day
won't matter
an
the class I
undead
picked
shall
after
be
about,
chosen.
you know, maybe 2 videos. It won't have mattered because it's really just your starting
Leave
stats
the
and your starting
undead
gear,
Asylum in
and
pilgrimage
you find some better gear pretty quick.
to the land of the ancient lords. Lordran.
I love this game. I really do. I played it a lot when it first came out for the PlayStation 3, and then I got away from it. You know, I was doing other things, playing other games, and just not playing games, or not playing these type of games as much. And you know, and then it came out for PC and it DLC, the DLC. So I figured I would pick it up again. And here I am. This is the Prepare or Die edition with the DLC, which I actually haven't done anything with. And that's what I want to do. I don't know. Need more endurance. I always need more endurance. I'm really not sure what kind of build I'm doing right now. Alright. This is Firelink Shrine. This is the most basic. This is your home base for now. There's not much to do here, but there are a couple items that you can pick up, and there are actually 4-ish paths that branch off of this. Well, maybe technically 5 if you want to count it that way. 2 of them are completely blocked for us now, and 2 of them are not places we want to be going just yet, but I'll show them anyway. This is not where I wanted to go first. I guess it is. I'll show it. Good thinking at it. Yeah, my name's Adam. If you haven't figured it out. My name's Adam. Hello. Yeah, basically, this is the area that most people go to first, because they see this big church thing. They're like, oh, let's go this way. And we come down here, and we're going to get mauled by skeletons, which are not exceedingly difficult, but they're tougher than we're really ready to fight right now. I mean, I think that guy took me more hits than the last boss. And he's still alive. I broke his spine. Oh god, the other way. You do get a little bit of souls for killing these guys, but they're really not worth it, either for farming's sake. Oh god, he's gonna kill me. I can't get behind him. Let's heal. You notice that miracles take some time to cast, so your Estus flask healing is much faster, but it's still not something you want to be doing in the middle of battle. That takes time as well. My weapon's actually half decent against these guys, but I don't want to fight all these guys. Okay, so that's an area that we're not going yet, but it is a path. I'll probably run through that real quick and pick up some items. And I might die doing it because I tend to get cornered or stuck. Up here is another item. There is a path that goes back to the Asylum that we can't access yet. It's a little tricky to get to, and actually wasn't discovered for a while after people started playing.
Hello there.
So that's one of the paths
Not acquainted.
that we just can't go to.
Have you business with us? If not,
Oh god, he followed me. Yeah, enemies have interesting pathfinding or how long they'll follow you. I honestly did not expect them to follow me this far. Usually their pathfinding fails them before they run out of... Just absolutely run... Okay, is anyone else following me? Because there was another one. But yeah, usually their pathfinding fails them and they fall off a cliff before they really follow you into a completely separate area, but...
Hello there. I realize that, but I also want you here. No.
So this guy gives us a coin because he was rude to us. And I guess,
Oh my.
considering...
Oh, so what it would.
Sure, he's willing to
Very
do
well.
some miracles and make a covenant.
Now only.
Oh, I probably covenant. Interesting. Anyway, but, yeah. I'll be nice to this guy because I got him stabbed by a skeleton. I really don't need any of his stuff, though.
Come again.
I just wanted his coin and that's the start of the covenant system, which is not crucial for playing, but is interesting. Up here we have another soul. But yeah, this is actually an elevator over here, or it will be, to an area that it's basically a shortcut to an area that we go to later. But right now we just fall down here, and this is just a nice little area that all new players should go to. And actually, I come here all the time anyway, because it's just free items. Homeward Bones, very useful. They return you to the last bonfire with no penalty. Mowing Star and Talisman. I don't need the Talisman, but nice. Cracked Red Eye Orbs for multiplayer. Just nice free stuff. And if I can get my bearings, I can actually get out of here. There we go. And you see this just overlooks the graveyard where I just was. I hate how it auto-equips a lot of the items for you, because it never picks the items that I would pick. It just picks them based on, if you just picked it up, you have an empty slot, and you haven't picked up any of that type before, it goes in your auto-equip slot. Yeah, which does not work well for me, because usually if I have empty spots, it's because I want empty spots. I'll just pick up the stuff real quick. Spear. Run from the giant guy who will tear me apart in 1 or 2 hits. We have a giant sword that I can't use yet because it is heavier than me. Pick up this thing, which is absolutely useless in my opinion, but it's an item, so therefore I must pick it up. Your rolling is incredibly useful because not only does it let you gain some distance, it has quite a few invincibility frames. In other words, if you time it right, they can't hurt you while you're rolling. If you time it wrong, they're going to hurt you. But a nice shield. Oh, they're hurting me. Get out of the way. Oh, God. They killed me. Well, I had 389 souls when I died. And now we enter the mechanic of death. Basically, I am returned here. I still have all my equipment, everything I picked up, everything I did. It still happened. All the enemies that I've killed have respawned. All the enemies that I didn't kill are obviously still alive, but they have gone back to their original locations. And so basically, but I lost essentially all the experience I got from killing enemies that I hadn't spent yet. But for all that sadness, if I just run over here and get to my bloodstain, which is near where I died but not exactly where I died, I get all my souls back. So now it is pretty much as if I had never died in the first place. So depending on how you look at it, dying is a huge disaster. You can lose a lot of souls, a lot of your leveling progress, or not an inconvenience at all because it'll work your back. Now if I had died before getting the souls, I would make a new bloodstain, which would have the amount of souls I dropped, which would be 0. And my older bloodstain would have disappeared. So I would be screwed, basically. And all that stuff would be gone. A flask. I really don't want to fight these guys, because they're really annoying. Alright. I say I don't want to fight them yet, I'm still fighting them. Did that guy fall off the cliff? I think he did. Neat. You could also two-hand your weapon. You obviously can't use your shield while you're two-handing. You can use your weapon as a shield, but it's obviously not as good as a shield. But yeah, it's a handy technique as well. Anyway, this guy just chats a lot.
Well, what? Let me get. But there's no sound. There are ones up above. Ring. So.
Sorry, he annoys me. He talks too slow. Basically, there's 2 bells of awakening that we need to ring. One up and one down low. And this is the firekeeper. She doesn't talk much. She cannot speak. She is. Poor girl has had her tongue out. Yes, her tongue cut out. So leave her alone. Just leave her alone for now. There are things you can do with her if you get something that I'll make the suicide run. But this is actually a often overlooked area, which if you're struggling, you should not. Your souls they're everything. They're your money. They're your experience. And you need them to do a lot of things. Obviously, I showed the leveling up. If your equipment breaks, which it can do over time, you need souls to repair it at a blacksmith. And there is a blacksmith right here. But more importantly, is
well, this is unusual. And more important, well.
Anyway, stop talking.
Although,
yeah, he's a blacksmith. You can upgrade your equipment. Now, upgrading your equipment, yeah, my equipment is taking very, very minimal damage, so I'm not worried about it. But you can reinforce your weapons and armor if you have shards and souls. I don't think he sells shards, no. But he does sell you the first magic that's available. It's a little overpriced, but it does give you another option at the very start of the game. You can do some sorcery. This is an area that you don't want to be messing around with too much in the early part of the game because unlike those skeletons, which were challenging for me, these are things that you can't even fight properly. Well, these guys just don't fight, and you can just farm souls if you're really, don't mind getting 20 at a time. It's not worth it, but they won't fight unless you fight them first, and then they'll fight you. But yeah, I just picked up 2 transient curses. Coming up are enemies that you cannot attack unless you have used some of your transient curses. And I won't say they hurt a lot, but if you can't fight them normally, then they're going to cause problems for you. Eventually you can get a weapon that will hurt them without using the transient curse, but it's just better to avoid them or not come this way. I always make this run. It's kind of a suicide run, but it's a free thingy that I like. So if I die, I'm stupid. Pick it up and show off the homeward bone as they all come to get me. Anyway, the homeward bone just brings you back to your last used shrine. And I'll show what that thing I picked up did. Now, the amount of health your Estus flask can refill is fixed, but you can increase it by using those items I just got. The Firekeeper Souls. Do not go to use an item like this. Do not do that. That would be bad. Go to a Firekeeper and ask her to reinforce your flask using the soul. And now I have a Estus flask +1. Which will heal me slightly more. There are very few souls in the game or in a new game. I'm an idiot. I forgot the other thing I was gonna do. Gotta go back. But yeah, so it's worth it, especially if you're struggling to make your SS flasks more beneficial to you. Because I have the master key, there's something else I can do down here that I forgot to do. And I'm going very slow because I don't want to fall into a pit. Yeah, if you bring the elevator down and you don't send it back up before you go, it will be down there, shockingly. And so you need to pull this lever so you don't just fall in that pit. Falling in that pit will instantly kill you. Yeah, I'll probably try and keep a tally how many times I die. Maybe how many times are fall and how many times are battle, but we'll see. I don't tend to die too much, but I'm sure I'm going to die. just kind of the way these games go. But yeah, if you go up here, there is a place you can go, which is fun. Used master key. It says used, but I still have it. Keys are not one-time use. You can use them as many times as they have uses. So don't freak out about your key only having one use or something. Now this is something that is also probably going to get me killed. But over here, there is, I think it's called Undead Dragon. I think that's what it's officially called. And he is guarding three little item blobs. As soon as you get, I think any of them, he's going to wake up and freak you out. So just be warned. And one of these is very helpful to me. I don't remember which is which. I got it. I got the important ones. Run like walls. Okay. Now, as per recommended, I picked up the Astora's Straight Sword, which I cannot use yet. Lucky me. Oh, I need more decks. Darn it. Alright. I can't use any of my weapons. How sad. This is actually... Oh, it's actually slightly better than the moisture for me still. Yeah, I guess I'll get into that in a second. I should warp. Oh well. But basically, there are potentially one of 4 stats required to use a weapon effectively, and as well as one of any of the. Okay, every weapon has some sort of base stats required to use it, and there are some combination of strength, dexterity, intelligence, and faith. Now, most weapons don't have much requirements in terms of faith or intelligence, but some do, so they're worth mentioning. And when you go to equip it, you can check, and they're on the bottom. And I almost pointed with my finger, which would have been stupid, but they are here. The required parameters. And unfortunately, looking at the highlighting the things as required parameters covers up the numbers, but no. Yeah, basically this has 12, see, it's 12 strength and 0 for everything else. So I have the 12 strength, so I have no problem wielding it. Try jumping. No, that is a lie. Jumping from here is death. Beware, half those messages are, a lot of them are written by players, and a lot of them are either jokes or just trying to get you to do something stupid. Sometimes they're helpful. Oh, someone else is playing, and they have a scythe and a child's mask. I don't know. Oh, I can't. Oh, I can never play decks. Darn it. Well, anyway, the reason I went and got that is because, yeah, you know, the Astora Straight Sword requires a lot of faith. It requires 14 faith, and it does magic damage. You can see it does physical damage, and as well as magic damage, which would be nice for me because as a cleric I started with 14 faith. Now, something like the Zweihander, I can't probably say it right, which requires 24, does a lot of damage, but it's really, you know, something different in terms of its required parameters. The S-Stock is a very nice weapon, but it requires even more dex. So, no. Now, the interesting thing is, like, it looks like I can wield this weapon fine, even though I don't have the stats for it. A weapon like this, that I can't wield... Oh, no, I lied. That one I have the dex for, too. Basically, if you don't have the strength requirement, you will look like you physically have difficulty using the weapon, which is a nice touch, I think. But yeah. What do I want to do? Now the only thing, one thing I don't know, which I want to check right now, is how much damage this really does with the magic stat. The physical stat I know is taking a hit because I don't have the. Good job. Okay, so I mean it still kind of works. It's just not particularly good. Okay, so I'm not going to use that right now. Until I get more. Yes. But this is the direction that we actually are supposed to go to progress. I got really lucky getting a shard there. And I got really unlucky getting not paying attention. And, okay, I wasn't even unlucky. That was just me not paying attention and getting firebombed. Let's smack these guys. Alright, now I'm going to do something that I usually don't actually do, but I want to show it just so that everyone's like, what about the thingy? There's a shiny thing, and I love shiny things. It's over there. You can get it by making this jump. It's pretty much the only way to get it. Onto this, and then just kind of walking carefully over here. And it is not impossible. It's certainly doable, but it is a little nerve-wracking, especially if you're new to the game. The jump back is actually more difficult for me. Between getting the alignment right, and it's actually a little bit uphill, and you don't have much room to get a running start. But it's not. I mean, it's not, you know, game-breakingly difficult, or even something that I would, you know, I could have used a homeward bone, for example, to get back. Ooh. I think I actually have enough souls to get to the next level, but I'm not too worried about it right now. I'm gonna go to the next bonfire before I level up. Giant rat over here. Now there aren't many tight quarters like this, but anytime you're fighting in an area with either two walls like this or just alongside one wall, which is more common, you need to be careful of your swings. Like this weapon has a kind of a diagonally sling almost, so I don't hit the wall too much, but if you hit too much, you're just going to clip it and you're not going to be able to do anything. And especially with the larger weapons, that becomes much more of a problem in smaller areas. Pretty much, if it has a straight overhead swing, you're pretty much fine most of the time. But obviously the thrusting type attacks are the easiest to get off in those situations anyway. I didn't backstab him, but yeah. I really like switching between two-handed and one-handed weapons. It's a very useful technique. I actually don't do it enough later because I like to hide behind my shield. Go slow. Don't get freaked out. Yeah, it's just a Drake. Don't mind him. I don't know. I think unofficially Drakes are semi-unintelligent, while dragons are considered intelligent, but couldn't tell you. Because it says that Seath the Scales was like the last of the dragons. Like, oh my god, I am embarrassing myself. Started thinking about dragons and I forgot about fighting the jerks. Alright, let's kill some more jerks. Go through the door and onto the balcony, and there's a little wooden shield. So now I have a couple shield options too. I don't know what shield I'm going to be using in the short or in the long term. I know what weapon I'm going to be using in a little bit. Actually, I'll equip it now because I want to see how it works. Alright. Now this bonfire doesn't have a firekeeper and it has been kindled, so it will only restore my Estus flasks to 5 uses. I have 9 because the last one had a firekeeper and dex. So that bumps it up to 10. If I had humanity, I could reverse my howling and kindle it. but I don't, so I can't. Alright. I want to check out this. That. I have no options for gear. How is this? 100%. Oh! Alright, now we can talk about the slow roll. This is the mid roll, but I consider it a slow roll because I don't do the heavy half of stuff. But basically, as quickly as you saw me rolling before, I am now rolling much slower. You see it takes them a second to get up, and then it has to do with how much my total equipment that I'm wearing weighs, including my sword and shield, my secondary gear, I forgot about you, and all my armor. Rings have no weight, so you don't have to worry about that, but yeah. So I do like this. This is handy. That? No, not even close. But yeah, in your status, we'll go, you have a equip load. The one on the left is obviously your current, and the right is your maximum. If your current is a quarter or less of your maximum, actually I think it's less than a quarter of your maximum, then you can quick roll like it was before. Between a quarter and half is this kind of mid roll, and then between half and 100% is a much slower roll, which is really actually kind of fun to watch for a little bit. I'll show it off at some point, probably on accident, not realizing that I've gone over my weight. But and then if you go over, you are still able to move, but you move incredibly slowly and can not roll at all. You actually look like you're physically ill when you try to roll.
Well, now you seem to have.
This is a merchant. Once again, you need to be careful of attacking him, because you can attack him and then you can kill him, and that is not helpful for anybody. He sells some armor, he sells some weapons and shields. Nothing's particularly useful. The bow is interesting because it is, you know, it's a ranged weapon that you won't have otherwise. The boundless box is something you'll probably want to pick up eventually. Repair box you can get later for cheaper. You won't need it now anyway, really. Resonance key is something you might consider picking up as well. The only thing I'm going to pick up right now is this, because I can.
Thank you kindly.
It's just a multiplayer item, but I would like to pick it up. It allows you to write on these things and write on the ground like these, and also allows you to vote on how good advice you think other people's are. I do like the Dragon's Crest shield. It's very handy. Yeah. I'll just do this quickly just so I don't forget about it, because I have a bad habit of forgetting that this whole area is accessible, even though it's nothing that I need, which is probably why I forget about it. Yeah. Alright. Oh, I made it. Okay. That jump's a little tricky to pull off, especially if you're not used to the jump. But, yep, wrong way. And we pick up our, I forgot that area. Huh, our crossbow. Crossbow is really not that helpful a weapon, but hey, no reason not to pick it up, I guess. Unlike this game's predecessor, Demon's Souls, there is no penalty for carrying everything you can imagine with you. You can't equip it all at once, but you can sure as heck carry it with you. Demon's Soul had an item burden as well, and if you went over it, you couldn't pick up stuff, and you would permanently lose items, and it was very sad, actually. It made another interesting dynamic and you know, of the stuff they even brought to Worlds in terms of healing items and all that, but different game, different system. I have to say, I have to commend EpicNameBro or NameBro or Marcus or whatever on his choice for the Cleric and Astora straight sword, because this is quite the powerful weapon to be able to get right out of the gate. And you really do not have to touch anybody. I like cutting those guys down before I get up. You do not have to, you know, I guess, you know, fending off, you know, avoiding the dragon is basically a suicide run if you're not expecting it. But it's not that hard to get. It has a good, I like this moveset. I'm fond of the sword, long sword, short sword moveset. And it is doing quite respectable damage. What am I doing? So the most common weapon that people get at the start of the game is it used to be considered overpowered or cheap, but now people have realized that it really has some serious shortcomings. It's known as the Drake's Sword. You can't get it yet, but you get it. You get it soon, and it has a straight. I'm gonna die if I'm not careful. It has a straight 200 attack. Ooh, you just see that soul cloud was a little black, and I got a humanity point, which is up in the top left. It has gone from a 0, 0 to 0, 1. That is my soft humanity. I also drop those when I die, as well as the souls. But they'll also be waiting for you. Humanity having the soft humanity is hugely helpful for two reasons. I say soft humanity to make it differentiate from these humanity, which I have 5 of which, but they're in my inventory. They're not going anywhere if I die. And if I use them through my menu, then that soft number goes up, basically. Just like if I use these souls, then my soul counter on the bottom right goes up. But yeah, the most people nowadays use it for 2 reasons. The first is it really boosts your item discovery rate, or the rate at which enemies drop items. And the other is that it helps you with your defense a little bit and your curse resist, which I am getting firebomb spammed. Not even spammed, I'm just failing at avoiding the firebombs. Okay. That was just complete failure. Oh, sorry about that. That was complete failure on my part. Like I said, I like this game more than I'm good at it. I'm not gonna do a perfect run on this game. I obviously already died. Come on. Oh, there it goes. But I don't doubt that I'll, you know, be able to do most of the stuff without too much insanity. Someone just kindled the last bonfire I was at, and I got a free Estus flask out of it. Lucky me. Goodbye. If I had bought that residence key, I could go in here, but because I have the master key, I can go in here anyway. There's a door later that you'll need the residence key for that you can't use the master key for. Don't ask me how that works, but it allows you access to this, which is very helpful. The gold pine resin. It enchants your weapon with lightning for a brief amount of time, and is incredibly powerful on pretty much any enemy you could fight at this stage of the game. It's astonishing how much more power you get out of a lightning enchanted weapon. I do not believe I can enchant my current weapon with it. In fact, I'm almost positive that I cannot. But let's see. No, let's fade it up. Yeah, I kind of expect as much. You can't magic weapons or already enchanted weapons or whatever. You can't double enchant for the most part. That's a trap. Not too hard to bait or, you know, trick. And we drop this guy. Not particularly difficult. Down there is a short path to a ring. Well, it would be our first or second ring that we could get. He is not he is not all friendly and easy. He is by far the most difficult enemy that you're going to run across just normally. No, I won't say. He's more challenging than you would expect these days. But it was nice of him to stare at the item instead of looking for us. But our backstab did not bother him very much. Now, I am not a huge fan of fighting in small corridors, so I'm going to kind of pull him out to somewhere I can fight him with a little more space. Right now I have a 100% defense shield, which is hugely helpful. It means his attacks won't bleed through even a little bit. A lot of shields have less than 100%, and they're also lighter, but so his attacks will bleed through a little bit, but okay. Probably one more backstab. You can parry him and parry and riposte it. I got 100% block shield, so I don't need to, and I don't trust myself. Oh, I got a shield. That's probably a huge shield that I can't equip, right? 16 strength. Yeah, I can't. Yeah. So that's a little bit how you can see how the starting class affects the starting weapons you can equip. You know, equip that starts out with more strength can more quickly equip some of these weapons. So I wanna. Yeah, I guess I will. All right, down here is another great. You know what? I said you could get the ring, and then I killed the guy, and I didn't get the ring. I gotta get that before I forget. It's really not that great of a prize for killing him, but I killed him, so I'm taking my prize. Damn it! I don't care what anyone says. Now, this guy was guarding this ring that you could probably see. That's the bridge from earlier. I'll equip it just because I can. But yeah, this is a guy that's easy to stumble upon, even if you're going the right way and you just happen to, you know, and he's likely to kill you. You by no means have to fight him, but a lot of people do and immediately get destroyed by him because he is strong enough to kill you in 1 or 2 hits. Down here, you can only get down here with the master key, or by actually coming up through this tower from another area entirely that you get through later. But there is a guy down here who is considerably more challenging. He's probably the most challenging guy you'll fight for a little while. Much harder than the bosses. His name is Havel, and he is wearing the full Havel set. Shockingly, I like to fight him up here. And he has I believe it's a dragon's tooth weapon. Yeah, it's big and heavy. I like to fight him up here because if I die, that way my souls are up here, not down there, so I can go get my souls if I decide not to fight him. You can parry and riposte him. See, I was blocking there, and he just demolished me through my shield. I should have tried to parry and riposte him. Well, you know, we dropped our humanity, we dropped our souls, and we're back here, and all these guys are back. So I'll start by extracting some revenge. The biggest advice I can have for this game starting out is be patient. Like, I know right now I really want to get my souls so I don't lose them, but if I rush into it, I'm just going to die and then I will lose them. So just take it slow. There's no need to rush. The easiest way to die is to get overwhelmed by enemies, to be considerably outnumbered and, you know, or stuck in a corner or something. So take it slow. Ooh, I'm getting nice drops already. Take it slow. Don't rush. Just, you know, most of the time when you're just starting out, especially, you're gonna want to have a half decent shield up and just run around with it in front of your face. you're not going to be able to see around corners. You're not going to see every danger, and it's amazing how often just running around with your shield in front of your face can oh, he hit me anyway. It really can help for when you get hit by things that you weren't able to see or didn't know about. That was just a horrible idea on my part. I did the thing I do against the early enemies, which is I expect them to attack, and there's like a half second where they don't attack, and so I try to attack, and that's when they finally swing, or in that case, fire their crossbow. Free soft humanity. There are, you can look up a lot of different ways to fight Havel. I am not dying here. I decree. Maybe I am. Anyway, there are a lot of different ways to fight Havel. The way I was attempting was basically taking advantage of the fact he has a really slow swing and all that, and just fishing for backstabs, which is actually how a lot of novice PvP players play, which is kind of boring, but whatever. If you're really outclassed, it is always an option. If your gear is outclassed, it is always an option because backstabs do considerable damage. Yeah, see, at least now I can get my souls without getting too bothered. The reason why you would fight this guy this early is really twofold. The first and foremost is he has a ring that increases your equip burn by 50%, which is substantial. It is great late game. It is great in the early game. Early game, you don't have a lot of ring options. It is amazing. Late game, you have ring options, and it's still amazing. Watch out. I'm going to parry. Maybe. Yeah. It really does not do very much damage to make it worth that, but it was fun. Hey, look, I did 19. The other is that this is a shortcut to an area where you can get a free bow, which is half decent. Yeah, you can do a couple things that basically abuse his AI, his pathfinding, with doorways or whatever, or you can poison him and just walk away. That is another way of dealing with him, or dealing with pretty much any enemy you're having a lot of trouble with. Is you can poison them and walk away, as they do not heal themselves from poison, or whoa, I don't want to be for that. They don't heal themselves from poison, and even though it only does 1 or 2 damage every like second or two, if you don't mind leaving the game on and going to get a sandwich or something, you can certainly kill most enemies. Oh, I did it again. Alright, I think that is going to be a video. I am going to go back and I'm going to get my souls now, so I don't forget about them. Maybe I'll kill him, and maybe I'll just speed up the footage or cut to when I actually freaking kill him. But I'm going to press this game. But it's a good game I want to be. So, and especially, well, yeah, basically, I don't know what we're doing. I don't know. No, I don't know. Anyway, I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know. Okay, I'm going to do. And of course, the very next time I kill him. Alright, I think I'm speeding up that section. But anyway, we get to Hell's Ring, which is hugely helpful. I had to take off half my gear to do that, because this is actually better. It's a little bit better. Actually, it's... I look so silly. Yeah. Now I can roll in heavy stuff. But yeah, I decided that I was going to call it a video as soon as well, I actually technically called it a video before, but then I was frustrated and I wanted to kill him, because, yeah. And probably that's my biggest problem with this game, is that I like it, and I like doing well at it, and so when I don't do well at it, I get disappointed in myself, and then I just I'm not having as much fun as I should be, because it's like, oh, I screwed up, I got to make up for my screw up, and then I start screwing up more, and it's just foolish. I fell right through that crack there. That was good. Now I'm gonna die to these guys probably. But yeah, so I can't. When I start screwing up, it kind of starts a downward spiral for me, which is unfortunate, because it's very. I am gonna die to these guys. But yeah, and I do love this game a lot. I am gonna die to these guys. Holy crap! Stop firebombing me. Fine. You coming down? No? Yeah, you can punch from ladders. You guys need to die. But yeah, I'm just, like, I'm not a perfectionist at this game. I couldn't be, because I'm really not good enough to be. But I like to do well at it. And when I'm struggling a little bit, I get frustrated with myself when I'm struggling. This is a neat area, and there's nothing you can do here. Not even a little bit. If someone has something interesting you can do from here, other than jumping to your abyss, or jumping back down here, or, you know, writing on strange places with your signs, let me know. There's really not a lot you can do here. I guess if you're in a PvP match, you can do some stuff, but yeah. But yeah, so I finally killed Havel. Yay for me. It took me 3 tries. And I was just doing the you know, novice's version of backstab fishing, but I killed him. So anyway, this has been A Zamboni Driver with Dark Souls. Thanks for watching. I'll see you all next time.